us pray. God sends His love to those who sin. God loves so that He will love you. Close your eyes now.
Okay, this is our next Angel News Alert, given on May the 22nd. We're now in Gemini. And yesterday, Jesus started reviewing the subject matter for this one. It's kind of complicated, but not really, you know, and then he led me to certain things he wants me to cover, and then put the pieces of that puzzle together so that you can see what's happening now and get ready to even intensify. But this is all about what is prophesied to occur on different levels to the scribes and Pharisees. The scribes are interpret the law, and the Pharisees are the judges. So this is tied up with the barrister legal system that is served by say such as the Bar Association, who are given the title of nobility called Esquire. So all those that sign on to the Bar Association after going through law school are giving allegiance to be used basically to serve the king or the monarch of the system. And these are ancient lawyer, barrister, judge kind of systems that serve the king, basically, or the queen. They may not know it, but that's what's going on. Anyway, so that whole system, the legal judge kind of system, is serving Babylon the Great. And we can see on many levels how Babylon is in the process of falling. Just like Jesus said, Babylon is fallen, is fallen. Okay, but what Jesus wants me to do is to review kind of the clues that have been given that foretell what's going to be happening to the lawyers and judges karmically who have been serving the, demons in shadowed places, whose the system is. So we know from the last Georgia Guidestone video that those commandments, the 10 commandments, are Lucifer's commandments. His name is written all over in 666. So these are Lucifer's commandments. Nimrod, Lucifer, Marduk, who is the initiator of Babylon the Great. This whole system built on fraud. Everything in it is fraudulent. Anyway, Commandment 1, and we went over before, is maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. Now, that makes it sound good, but here's what Lucifer and his minions are in the process of doing, trying to do. Reduce the population down to 500 million. Anyway, Commandment 6 says, let all nations rule internally, resolving external disputes in a world court. Well, let's just look at the first part of that. Let all nations rule internally. Now we'll go to, he wanted me to go to the legal dictionary and give a definition for internal law. rules, regulations, and policies of an entity as opposed to the laws of the state in which the entity operates. So an entity also is like a monarch or a corporation or a dictator. So what Commandment 6 really is saying is establish dictators, kingships. And then we go to Commandment 7. So avoid petty laws and useless officials. Okay. The old system is being torn apart. All those trying to hold on to all the law that served during that time are waste. I mean, it's like grabbing a handful of sand or stepping in quicksand. It's just going to get you worse and worse into it. Anyway, avoid petty laws and useless officials. Now, I mean, you can just look at history and see that when a dictator tyrant comes into power, he gets rid of all the politicians that made the laws because he wants to make the laws. He wants to be the judge, jury, and executioner. And that is what's happening. So all those politicians, in different parts of the world, trying to hold on to their authority are losing it and becoming frantic about it. And all those who have gained from Babylon the Great, trying to hold on to it. You can't have enough guns. If you've hoarded a bunch just for self-serving purposes, you can bet your bottom dollar that all the guns you have are not going to protect you from others trying to get it. And that is a karmic lesson that will be learned well. Okay, so Jesus says, let's go to... Oh, let me give you a little history about the Founding Fathers, if we want to go back there, established what was called the 13th Amendment. Now, this whole story about the 13th Amendment is one of the chapters in a book I have on free on the internet called The Resurrection Creed. Anyway, the whole 13th Amendment was the Founding Fathers' attempt to not allow servants to the court, the barristers and scribes, judges and lawyers and such, not allow them to hold public office because they are basically serving the monarch. And so they established the 13th Amendment, and guess what? I mean, a war broke out, and the whole thing was just wiped right off the amendment plate. But we can see that, I mean, that's the contamination on all kinds of levels now, allowing lawyers and judges to be politicians. It just, for the most part anyway. Anyway, so that's the history of the 13th Amendment, and basically the Bar Association members, esquires, are titles of nobility that would have been not able to hold public office under the 13th Amendment. So let's see what may happen. He wants me to. He hasn't told me exactly what's going to happen here, but you can just see the whole legal system just falling to pieces because for a time there's going to be dictatorships everywhere, and of course a world dictator. Luke, here's what Jesus said. Luke 11:46. And he said, Woe unto you also, ye lawyers, for ye lade men with burdens grievous to be borne, and ye yourself touch not the burdens with one of your fingers. They're able to take away and predate on people's, caught in this system like crazy. I mean, it's the karmic retribution for this is substantial. Then he told in Matthew 23:14, Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, For ye devour widows' houses, and for a pittance make long prayer. Therefore ye shall receive the greater damnation. Yeah, and that's going on all over the place. These attorneys are making money off of widows losing their houses, and then they go to church and act like, you know, they're in prayer. Well, he's saying that they shall receive some greater damnation from this, the karmic retribution of what they're generating. So now let's go back to Georgia Guidestone, Commandment 1. Maintain humanity under 500 million. That's cutting a lot out. Well, who are going to be some of the substantial ones being cut out? Commandment 7. Avoid petty laws and useless officials. So that means all the lawmakers and officials that stand up as if they have authority will be part of this decimation. Now, Jesus also gave me this kind of a vision of walking in, unknowingly walking into a pit of quicksand. When I was younger, I used to love to watch. I was like enthralled by these people who were in the movies, who would run into these pits of quicksand, and a lot of times they'd just be sucked right down. Ooh, that reminds me. This sinkhole thing is really interesting, and they're starting to give me, look, some of these things are like perfect, like almost like they're vent tubes from some underground civilization. Anyway, there's opening up. Anyway, back to the quicksand thing. Some people would just, get in it and they're sucked right down, and others would barely escape. Well, I'll tell you how to. When you find yourself in quicksand because you haven't followed Michael's direction, flee the Joneses, let go of all you've been holding, and you find yourself in a state of quicksand, and you start reaching for something to hold on to keep you from being sucked down in it, you better go directly to the Father Creator, because He is manifesting through these demons the destruction of everything that was generated in this fraudulent system known as Babylon the Great.